American Express at the half.
So in an elimination game with their backs against the wall, Victor Wembanyama wills his team to a lead at half, 60-53, knocked down 4 threes in that first half, on his way to 22 points. Let's get into our Game You Can Trust presented by American Express. Compare Wemby from all of Game 5 to just the first half of tonight. Mitch Johnson said he's got to shoot it more than 15 times. Check, he shot at 16. He's got to score more than 20 points. Check, check, he's got 22 points in the first half, which is exactly how many points he had in Game 4 when the Spurs went on to get the victory. We are back here courtside. Maria Taylor, the Hall of Famers, Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, and Tracy McGrady. Let's get right back into it. Victor Wembanyama in the first half showing everything that you demanded of him in the pregame show.
Yes, we also said he must be aggressive and set the tone and get in the paint, and he did just that. When he caught the ball, it was zero hesitation right here. That was in rhythm. I know we wanted him to get in paint, but it's in rhythm. It wasn't zero hesitation. Here, 5 guys are looking at you. Let's not settle. Get into the paint. They take it away, but you know what? He has the ability to shoot that fadeaway. He was working on it before the game. Here's another one. Okay, I'm feeling good. Now this is the heat check, 26 feet. You see it from there. Step back, fadeaway. Nothing but buckets. Now, the one thing I'm not liking later on in the second quarter, he's now catching. Doesn't see any driving lanes, and he's just pulling up. I think he needs to make his decision quick, fast, in a hurry, get to it or get off of it.
Well, I think the team, San Antonio, has to do a better job of closing out quarters. I thought they did a poorly job of closing out that quarter, allowing OKC to gain some momentum late in that second quarter and pushing into the second half. I didn't like the energy and the shot selection by San Antonio late in the second quarter.
Talk about another 15-point, kind of head start that OKC gave San Antonio. San Antonio looked like the more engaged team to me early on. They looked like the more aggressive team early on. Wemby came out, he did exactly what we wanted him to do. He dominated in that first half. He started settling a little bit, but he was trying to figure it out, but he dominated. That's what we asked for. And I think third quarter, Wemby had to do more. I know it seemed like we putting a lot on Wemby, but listen, this is Game 6, and this is on Wemby's shoulder today in order for San Antonio to win this game.
I will say this, his supporting cast is showing up and showing out. Remember Dylan Harper, only 3 made field goals over the last 2 games. He's already got 5 so far in this game, and after the first one, he just said thank you to the Salesian Sisters of St. John Bosco. But he's been playing well so far in this first half.
Yeah, well, Dylan, he needed this game. He's been battling the abductor injury. He looked sharp today. He looked like he's moving today. He's knocking the shot down. You can see he gave the prayers hands up to the Salesian Sisters out there for that shot. He looked comfortable. He looked confident the way that he's been looking all season long.
As a big guard getting into the paint, taking advantage of his height and his ability to score in there. He looks athletic, but anytime he sees a smaller guard, he is getting there, creating the contact first and scoring in the paint.
They got to play with desperation. Come out the first 6 minutes, they got to hit first and they got to hit last.
All right, let's talk about OKC on the flip side of this. What do you see not going well for them throughout that first half?
Well, they're shading their defense to other guys, and that one guy is Lou Dort, which is they're allowing him to get those wide open looks because they are compacting the paint and making Shea get off the ball a little bit. Lou Dort right now from 3 is 1 for 5. So if they're gonna shade their defense towards him, he's gonna have to knock down some shots.
I mean, he said it, he took it, but at the same time, their bench, 21 points, still holding it down for him. But there again, they're betting on, yes, we're going to make things tough for Shea. Lou Dort, if you have a night, you have a night, but they cannot allow Shea to get it going because we've seen when he does that, he's a difference maker.
Well, meanwhile, OKC, they have the veteran leadership that has been here before. That is one thing that Isaiah Hartenstein said. We never blink because we know that we can handle all the challenges that are coming our way. Now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, just 10 points in that first half. So I'm more than sure that OKC will expect more for the 2-time MVP in the second. And despite that fact, they find themselves down just 7 at the break in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Thursday night is finally here, and the Spurs, they actually have the best record in the NBA following a loss this season. They are 19-6. They'll need plenty of shots to go down from Devin Vassell. He's shooting at 40% from 3 so far this series, averaging about 14 points per game, but coming off of just 6 points in Game 5. Okay, so we've talked a lot about Wemby and what he must do. Let's talk about all of the rest of the cast that have to join him. Some of the guys that you would love to see step up in this elimination game.
Well, first off the bat, I think it starts with De'Aaron Fox. right? He's the guy that has the ball. He sets the pace. He sets the tone. Offensively, I think he needs to utilize his speed. He needs to get into the teeth of the defense in transition, right? Every single time, push pace. Get into the paint, and when you draw the guys in, make the right reads, right plays, they have to knock down shots.
Yeah.
That is the difference. OKC are knocking down their wide open shots. Their three-pointer, they shot 43% last game. And San Antonio is not knocking down their outside shots when they're getting the open look. So that has to be a factor with De'Aaron Fox in transition all night long, getting downhill, getting into the paint, and making the right reads.
Well, you mentioned making shots. Champagnie needs to make shots. He made shots in Game 5. So he's the guy that can make shots along with Vassell. But my guy is Stephon Castle. I think he's the guy, and it's not just offense, it's on the defensive end. And he cannot get caught in the antics. If he draws the fouls, if he feels like the foul calls are going against him, he has to stay poised and he has to stay locked in, because his ability to get into the paint and create lobs for Wemby to where he doesn't have to work hard, or open threes, or for himself, because he also draws fouls on the other end. But when they lose him, they lose another guy at 6'5", 6'6" that gets in the paint and scores with ease. So I think Stephon Castle is a huge need for them tonight.
I'm going to go with De'Aaron Fox. He has to be Swiper tonight. If he's not Swiper tonight, then put somebody else in the game, because if he don't have that mentality and that apply that pressure offensively and defensively, he got to make those guys better. He got to get Wemby easier shots. He got to get Stephon Castle easier shots. He got to continue to get Champagnie those threes. Swiper has to be Swiper tonight, and he has to go back to being that dominant force at the helm of the offense and defensively. Swiper's the only one one of the ones who can push up full court. I know he got the bad ankles, but he's fighting through it. But he needs to be Swiper Fox tonight.
I see Wemby. There he goes with the sprint all the way off the court.
See, that sprint was a little better.
I was going to ask you guys, does it look different today?
It looks different.
And it feels different. And we know exactly what that could mean. Like I said, in Game 1, he had 41 points, 24 rebounds. Let's talk about the points in the paint. 26 points in the paint in that Game 1. And since then, it's kind of gone down, guys. It's been 10, 10, 14, 8. That's what you don't like.
Well, that's a sign of fatigue, because if he's not dominating the paint, he's on the perimeter. What we saw last game, and when you're tired, your shot is the one thing that is affected when you're fatigued. So get closer to the basket. You dominate, and you are the man when you are closer to the basket. I don't know how many times we have to say this. You're 7'4".
Keep saying it.
You're 7'4". Game 1, you had 41 points, 26 points in the paint.
Yeah.
We got to go back to that.
Yeah.
I think we see that tonight. It's great he shoots the three. He can shoot the three over anyone. But when you don't have your legs, I'm just basically echoing what you're saying. Get in attack mode. Like I said, I'd like to see him on the move, and you making Hartenstein have to guard you and put their hands on you, get to the free throw line. Those are the things I think where he can dominate and great things happen for their team.
It's on Wemby tonight.
It's on Wemby tonight.
Yes.
Listen, and we know that he can do it in this building. It was just in Game 4 when he had 22 points in that first half.